Hello guys and welcome back. So today we've got first job after the surgery. Just a little quick Banks Monster Ram install, but we're going to try and give you a little bit of an input on this because I've had a lot of people comment about number 5 and number 6 injector lines. So we're going to show you again, how do we do the Monster Ram without removing those lines. But before we get into that, let's also go into my store is now open. It's up on the Shopify store thing, and I'll leave the link in the description down here so you can go in there and you can get your Insane Diesel stuff and you can get the truck stuff merch. So with that being said, let me flip this around, show you what we got and how we start this job. Hold on. What we got here is a 2019 with about 40,000 miles on it. Customer wants to avoid the dreaded grid heater bolt taking out his whole engine. So first thing I did, yeah, it's raining outside, but we went ahead and degreased and cleaned the whole top of the engine off because we're going to be getting into injector lines and all of that good stuff. And I do not want any dirt getting into any spots that we don't want dirt in. Okay, now after we get done cleaning that off, we're going to go ahead and come over here and we're going to plug in the new car and we're going to do a scan report. I already plugged the dongle into the truck. Now we've got power coming up on this. So we get into the menu and we chose RAM, and now we're going into diagnostic on it because we want to do a scan report. So first thing I'm going to do is go through and do a scan for all codes. And we just sign into auto auth so that we can get into a Stellantis vehicle. While we're waiting for that to get loaded up, for those of you that don't know, on a Stellantis vehicle, 2019 and newer, that has a security gateway, you actually have to subscribe to Auto Authority, which allows you access to get into and past the security gateway so that you can look at all your diagnostic information and codes and all of your functions and all of that good stuff. So it's pretty cheap. It doesn't cost that much. If you're doing this more than just a couple times a year, then I suggest subscribing to Auto Auth. And it just cleared the Auto Auth, so now we're getting into all of the other modules and it's scanning whole systems for codes. Well, what I thought was actually showing you guys how to do a scan report so that you can cover your butt. Actually ended up just taking a picture of the scanner. So anyway, what I did, hook up the scanner, pull a scan report, emailed it to myself so that I have proof that whatever I do to this didn't cause any future issue. It's a CYA thing, all right? So if there's no codes in the PCM, still send yourself a scan report so that you can prove that there was no codes when you come in. And then when you're done with the vehicle after you've taken it for a test drive, run another scan report. Email that to yourself as well so you have proof coming in and proof going out of what the vehicle health was. So that's a step you do not want to skip when doing any kind of services or add-ons or performance or anything like that. So now I'm going to get down to tearing apart some stuff, and when we get to the more pertinent things, I'm going to stop and we'll have a discussion and take some video. Okay, so as you can see, we've got down to where all of the bolts are removed. Now let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 lines off. 5 and 6 are still very much on. As you can tell by lifting up on this, it is still very much fully attached. Temp sensor is still in there. So let me show you how I get these things out. Okay, you do have to move the rail a little bit. I'm going to try and do this without my hand getting in too much of the way of the video, but you can get the gist once you start maneuvering the heater plate and you get it kind of moving out of the way. One thing you do have to watch is the bracket right here for your dipstick. You need to get it to clear the grid heater plate, right? So just with a little bit of finesse, you can get it twisted out the side and bring it straight out. Now we can go through and clean all of the areas and get the shop vac out here and suck out any carbon that's fallen in there. Make sure that the gasket surfaces on. Here, let me play with my new toy over here. So you got these gasket surfaces Want to make sure that this whole entire ridge all the way up is free of any junk. It's a catch-all for everything that falls down on top of the engine. You want to make sure that you take a razor blade and you clean that thoroughly, because I have seen time and time again where customer comes in after they did their own monster ram and now they got a low boost code, and we pressurize the intake system and hit it with some soap water and find that that whole back side is leaking. So don't be that guy. Make sure that you get that thoroughly cleaned, and when you put the new stuff on, make sure that you torque the fasteners down to their appropriate torque spec. We'll get into that here too in a little bit, but for right now I'm going to get stuff cleaned and start going through and pre-installing onto the monster ram and getting the new plate in and so on and so forth. So hold on a sec, I'm going to show you some pre-install videos on the monster ram and go from there. And as always, when you get the air grid heater off, we did a wiggle test before we disconnected the wire, but let's take a look and see how the hardware is. I don't see any degradation in it. This one was still in good shape, but you never know when those are going to go. So anyway, let's move over here. Here is the monster ram with almost everything out of the packaging. Of course, you got fasteners, you got plugs, you got brackets, you got the heater, and you got the two plugs for the top of the monster ram, your wiring, your dipstick relocation bracket, your EGR heat shield, and then of course your air grid heater replacement plate gasket. And on the other side, you have your monster ram gasket right there. In here is the new plate. Hold on. And there she is in all her glory. So your sensor will relocate into here, and you can put that in and then slide this up in there, or you can just install it afterwards. I don't like doing that because it's kind of a pain in the butt. Anyway, let's talk about this for a second. The new design, you have this new machined in or cast in section right here, which creates more surface area. You have a nice soft rounded edge on the bottom. Your risers are cast in up on top, and it's a much better design than previous ones. So I am going to get the sensor out of the old air grid heater, installed into here, and then we'll clean surfaces and start installing stuff. And there she is completed. So didn't think you need a whole lot of video of, you know, putting everything back together, but let's go over some of the highlights. One of my things I really like to do is make sure that this clamp is down and away so that you don't catch the threads when you try and check your oil, right? Take off that bracket, take off that bracket right there. You don't bend the ears, you don't cut them, you pop the valve cover, upper half, the CCV cover, and you remove those two 8mm bolts that are right down there, and you take that bracket off. Don't be stupid. Put all of the fasteners, Christmas tree, plastic fasteners, harness anchors, everything back where they go. Make sure you don't over tighten that guy right there. It'll make your life hell when you have to call Banks and get another one of those heaters because you're dumb. So anyway, everything is back together. Now we are going to start it up, check for leaks, make sure that we don't have any issues, take her for a road test, and then do a post-scan report. So any of you, if you ever question or whatever, every part and piece and bracket and everything that I take off, I put back in the box. That goes back with the customer if they ever have to return this thing back to stock. They have everything they need. So there's that. And now we're, you know, done. We're not going to have any problems. If we do, I'll add a little blip to the end of this video, but pretty thorough, so I don't expect to have any problems at all. But I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I want to thank everybody who's checked out the store. Again, I'm going to leave it in the description down there, link to the store. Plus, I'm going to go ahead and link in my discount code for these guys right here. Awesome. Gail, you're the man. So anyway, I'm going to leave also a whole bunch of other discount codes for all kinds of other cool stuff that you might want to buy and save a little bit of money on, all right? Remember, the Insane Diesel stuff is no longer a discount code. It is in my Shopify store, which you can follow the link with my merch. Same store, 2 sections in there. So anyway, again, thank you all for watching, tuning in. If you have anything you would like to say, leave a comment, and I will try and respond back to, reasonable comments. Same stupid questions like, will that void my warranty? I'm not going to respond back to. You guys know the answer to this, right? So anyway, talk to y'all again later. Thanks.